Good afternoon to our in-person participants. As you notice, we are in high flex mode. So good afternoon to our face-to-face participants here in Dr. Mariano Lau ICI Laboratory. You can see that one in the spotlight in the back view name of the profile in the Zoom. And then also to our Zoom participants, good afternoon. So I am Fredly Bukog, the training specialist from the Office of Silliman Online University Learning, or SOUL. So today is the start of our retooling program on limited face-to-face training. So basically, we have 4 seminars for this. So first one, it will tackle the 3 teaching and learning strategies, which are blended, hybrid, and high flex modality in the limited face-to-face setup. And lastly, we are going to design a personalized learning of limited face-to-face. And additional to that, we also have the My Soul training course for newly hired teachers. This will be on August 1 to 15, 2020. The same time, 2 to 5. So here, without much further ado, to give us a detailed overview about this seminar, let's hear it for Dr. Dave Marshall, the director from the Office of Soul.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ninyo. It's nice to see a few actually from our face-to-face. I don't know what happened to the Zoom. Can you set up again? Because murag na ako lipstick, Alfie. Basta bayin tag-iya sa Zoom. Mang lipstick ug mga eyebrow gid na. While Alfie is doing anyway, daghang salamat for attending. We have actually very few, but this is a good start so that you can experience none. Okay, you can experience high flex modality also. This is a challenging one, but we hope that we can deliver what is expected. Our main objective really is to follow through of what our COVID-19 crisis committee issued on the memorandum, especially on the limited face-to-face at 100% full capacity. And then how are we going to incorporate that into our own context in the classroom? Before this memorandum, perhaps from our HRD, we know blended learning, we know hybrid, we know high flex. In fact, I think when was that? March or April? May. We had a short introduction about this kind of methodology, the limited face-to-face. Now we are a bit, we changed our roadmap in terms of the implementation because the definition of limited face-to-face before is different from the definition of the limited face-to-face today, especially when the HRD released on the memorandum for the first semester school year 2022-23. So as mentioned by our MC and our training specialist, Sir Fred Lee, we have 3 basically, for the limited face-to-face. Today, that talks about blended learning. Tomorrow, that talks about hybrid modality. And the last one is on Thursday. Next week. Next week is on high flex modality. So, pwede di hapon si high flex nga dili naman may mudawat og full online distance learning. No, but all of this ato ning himay-himayon. But before I will give the floor and the screen to our speaker this afternoon, let me share my screen to give you a rationale about limited face-to-face as a teaching strategy for teaching and learning, especially for the limited face-to-face. And at our own context, that the so-called 100% full capacity. To the Zoom participants, can you give me a thumbs up if you were able to see my screen? Nara? Sir Fredley?
Kindly full screen, sir.
Wala ma full screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Share. That one, Sir Fredley.
Yes, sir. Okay na po.
Okay.
Okay.
Sige. May audio, Sir Fredley. Okay ra? Hindi ah?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sige. Hi to my students actually of Ed 31, Ed 31 and Ed 145 for attending. Of course, to our Zoom participants. So I'm now actually talking here, the face-to-face participant. No, and thank you for attending. So my topic is basically blended, hybrid, and hyplex. I'll just give a rationale because baso nuglahi ato ang pagsabot ani before COVID, during COVID, and the post-pandemic. Kay nagka-evolve ni sila actually. Even during the May workshop about this one, lahi ato ang interpretation, no? Because that memorandum or that workshop also was anchored on the premise of the limited face-to-face. And our understanding on the limited face-to-face is not all students will come to the class at a time simultaneously, meaning 50% lang, 30% lang. That's not anymore the definition we understand. Now, before, this is the one I mentioned, we had a guideline on the gradual reopening of campuses of higher education institutions for limited face-to-face classes during the COVID-19 pandemic. And there was a follow-through of a joint memorandum again, the guidelines in the implementation of limited face-to-face classes in all programs. Because the first memorandum talks about only for allied. Okay? And then here in this memorandum, we understand or we know about rotation, cyclical, and so on and so forth. Kaning ikatuha, that 004, that is actually the guideline for all programs. Maotong sang katutak na requirements for the non-health sciences programs before we could open a program. Okay? So, what is the definition of limited face-to-face class by then? The definition pertains to restricting the number of students to attend face-to-face classes in campus in any given day based on the degree programs or courses they are enrolled in cyclical student shifting, rotating schedule, and physical distancing and other health and safety protocols. Okay, just hold on because my staff will be the one to change the basta bayit tag-iya sa laptop lagi magkakilay taani.
Then ang blur to daw, sir. If I remove ang blur background.
Just hold on, ha? I'll stop the sharing. Okay, please.
Okay.
Okay, sige. Nawala na akong kilay. Sorry for the interruption. Muni inyong bantayan, gyud. Sir Fred, please confirm if you were able to see again the full screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sige. So let me continue. As I mentioned, this was our definition before the memo from HRD. So that is why when that memo released, limited face-to-face at 100% full capacity, nagkayagaw, no? Nagkayagaw ang Siliman. So, una po na siya because I could still recall there was even a special meeting together with the principal from the FBE. We identified and we defined how limited face-to-face to us. But because of that, na-change na sad ang landscape of the limited face-to-face. So, before also, what we know, students who could not participate in the conduct of limited face-to-face classes shall continue to be governed by the CMO number 4 series of 2020. That means the students has the option not to come on campus. Okay, that was before. Okay, in this case, the HEI shall implement the necessary mechanism so that the students who opted for flexible learning shall not be prejudiced. So starting first semester 2022-2023 or even last May 9, diing na natang nga pwede natang mag-limited face-to-face. And the full implementation, even during the May 9, it was not clear if that is 100% full capacity. It's just under the umbrella, under the definition from the CMO of the limited face-to-face in terms of the number of students in campus. Okay. However, in July 4, we were told that the limited face-to-face for early childhood school shall begin on August 2022. And flexible teaching modality will continue to be strategy through the SOL or MySOL learning management system. That is for the early childhood. Item number 2 of that memo also telling us that there will be a limited face-to-face for elementary up to the graduate school. And here is the catch now. Bullet number 1. Limited face-to-face classes at 100% capacity. Limited face-to-face classes at 100% capacity in the elementary school all the way to graduate school. For sure, nagkayagaw ta, it is because what we know before, the limited face-to-face refers to the number of people inside the class. That was what we know because that was in the CMO 001, Joint CMO 001 and 004. Here, we are trying to define it according to our own context. Still limited face-to-face, but 100% capacity. So, unsaon man na siya? Mo na atong tumong og tinguha karong panahon na. Karong afternoon, that is why you attended the workshop. But the highlight here, again, flexible teaching modality will continue to be a strategy through my soul. So, daghang modality. So, I hope by this time, klaro ninyo nga, pwede di ay mag-limited face-to-face, bisan pa og ang 40 ka estudyante in my class will come at one time slot. If your class, let's say for example, I'm handling, let's say Filipino 1, 1 to 2:30, 40 ka estudyante, pwede na silang magdungan in my class. But my teaching strategy will be limited. So unsaon man na siya. Mao ni atong i-training karong afternoon. No? Okay. Sige. Next. So with all of this, you can read actually the memorandum about the gate, about the church service, air condition, loose auditorium, and etc. Okay? So, wala nagkayagaw. Ngano gong limited face-to-face unya 100%, no? Pati kami gipangasab-an mag-message isog kaayo. Sumilabot namo, no? Pero mao man ato ang role, no? Magsinabtanay atong pasabton, mao nang naata karon. So there was a clarification from the HRD how we define limited face-to-face. Nganong 100%? So because effective first semester of school year 2022-2023, we will be utilizing our classrooms full carrying capacity for face-to-face classes. Umonto akong gimin nga if you have 40 students, 20 students in one class at the same time, pwede na silang magdungag anha-iha. Pero your interaction is limited. Did you get that? Simple ra na actually. Pwede mo magdungan tanan 40 ka buo, pero dili na ta pwede atong previous nga from day 1 to day X, hurot gyud ang imuhang time gaatubang nila. Okay? Kay limited gitagaan man ta o initiative, I mean, we were given the right as a college and as a teacher to discuss it to our department what kind of modalities we wanted to implement as we implement limited face-to-face at 100% full capacity. Why limited? So ano i-limit pa man po, sir? Because nako man si COVID. No? Nako man si COVID. At any time, pwede pang ma-change ang mga level. I just downloaded UP Diliman guidelines. Very comprehensive one. And na po sila, if mo level 3, similar po sa atuan, limited face-to-face. Sa ilaha mo accept pa sila og full online students. No? Sa ilaha. Sa atua, we decided na dili. All of our students, a portion of your class should be face-to-face. In other words, we will not accept students who cannot come on campus. I hope that is clear, no? Kay miyango man dire, miyango ba sila, Sir Friendly? No? So, that's the one. Then, why limited? Because while the university is going back to utilizing the full capacity for classroom, we are not entirely abandoning the educational technology or the online distance learning modality. Our own department will have to agree and decide, because we are given discretion and good judgment, to utilize ODL as a means to deliver some aspects, meaning some of the time. In other words, no, your topic, which topic to be delivered face-to-face, and which topic to be delivered either blended, hybrid, or high-flex. Actually, upat ka modality ang atong gitawag og limited face-to-face. So it is therefore limited in the sense that our classes and activities will not be the same before pandemic. Mo to akong gingon nga from day 1 to day X, naaro dito sa classroom tanan. No? Even submission nakapapel. Karon atong i-maintain ang paperless lang gihapon. Kaya naman tayo ato ang virtual learning management system or our MySol. And for sure, you have digital content already that accumulated now, di ba? So daghan na siguro mo mga recordings, daghan na mo mga material. Kay if mobalik ta atong karaan, sayang po tong atong sleepless nights nga nag-create ta sa ato ang mga content nga dili na magamit. Ato gito silang gamiton. Because even the Commission Higher Education is telling us that moving forward really is technology-enhanced flexible learning. There's no turning back of what we had before COVID. So, ako nagpasalamat ko in my research area of educational technology na expedite ang integration process, and we will continue that. So what then should everyone expect? We go face-to-face at full classroom carrying capacity without abandoning ODL as a means to deliver our course offering. In other words, nakapaghihapon mo yung virtual classroom na i-maintain in the first semester. So, naragihapon to nga pag-login ninyo, makita ragihapon ninyo inyong mga classes or virtual classroom. The students will still be maintaining their virtual classroom. Naragihapon to. The determination of each subject or aspect, topic, learning outcomes, whatsoever, which one to be delivered face-to-face, combined with ODL, discretion and good judgment of every college, school, or institute, and as may be approved by the PPAA. So, balik ta sa department. Since you attended it right now, so, ikaw man kabalo sa imong subject nga, ma'am, di gud ni siya pwedeng face-to-face gid ko, ma'am, from day 1 to day 18. Or day pinaka-last. Kay, di jud kaya. O sige, atong anon, no, assuming na dili jud kaya og naay online. We look at that. Okay, so from there, let us try to revisit technology enhanced teaching and learning. Very short lang ni. Kay naay possibility nga tungod kay sabik ta sa face to face, ay dili na jud mi sir day 1 to day X face to face ra jud mi tanan 8 to 9:30 kinahanglang mo anhi na sila mo ana ko sa ako ang group. Sayang, no, may kuan sayang kay nanagutay digital content, we already have process, we learn a little about technologies and so on and so forth. Ako ni siyang balikan because technology integration really comes in different levels. The blended learning modality, the hybrid learning modality, and the high-flex learning modality is actually according to the level also of integration. Ang pinaka-ubos actually is the substitution. Mao ni nahitabo nato during from face-to-face to full ODE. Nga from the existing material nato daghang reklamo atong learners kay wala jud nato gi-recalibrate, gidiretso ra nato upload tanan. No, pati mga quiz, dili gyud siya pang online, so substitution ang nahitabo. And that will happen also from full ODL, then mubalik ta og limited face-to-face. Naay portion, naay modality called substitution modality. Mao na i-discuss ni Ma'am Alfie. Daghan po na siya specific levels and we call it variants sa blended learning modality, hybrid learning modality, and the high-flex learning modality. Then go through to augmentation, modification, and redefinition. On the last day of our workshop, high-flex na anataani redefinition level. What we know for the last 2 to 3 years, for sure maka-recall pa ta nga nag-training ta, di ba? Training ta diri. Dayon daghang reklamo, no, as if naatay choice nga wala ra ba jud tay choice ug dili mo aten og training di pud ka tudlo, o di ba, di pud pwedeng dili mo tudlo kay patudloon jud ta. So we know about synchronous learning. Ay wala man jud mi sir kanang wa jud mi anang pre-recorded, live ra jud ko ana from day X, day 1 to day X. Ga live ra jud ko Google Meet, Zoom. Kato sila ang gihimo nila remote teaching. No? Walay pre-recorded, walay asynchronous. Nag-remote teaching ra gyud. That's synchronous. We know also asynchronous learning. In the School of Basic Education, nindot kay naka-schedule Monday, asynchronous, kani Tuesday, synchronous, and so on and so forth. To us, in the college level, some of our learning outcomes kaya ra gyud nga i-deliver via asynchronous learning. We know also bichronous, like our ODL framework at Seliman. We combine synchronous and asynchronous. Natay activity like the lecture part is given pre-recorded asynchronous, but the deepening of it is live, or the performance task you discuss it in live, but the production is done asynchronous and the submission is via online. That's bichronous learning. We learn also flip learning. We always tell the students, read the sangkatutak na links. Di ba? We posted so many links to our virtual classroom. Read. Read in advance before attending my live session. That's flip learning. Pinakadali nga substitution model, flip learning. Ikaduha, we learn to slice our content, our learning outcomes, gibuak-buak, micro-learning, ginagmay. Because number one, internet connection, dili ka download og 1 gig nga libro na pa bay take upload yung nana. No, wala na kay ako na tong gilimit to 5 MB. Kay gapaturagay na ang mga teachers og post og video tag 1 hour. No, and then reality dili gihapon i-video or i-watch ni student, forward ra gihapon. No, kay kinapira pud ni teacher ang 1 hour nga video. we know that micro learning, and then we keep on having a training on how to use PLD in our virtual classroom, because to increase student engagement, that's personalized learning. And then we teach you about each 5P, on how to gamify our content, our delivery, our assessment, and so on and so forth. And above all, naana tayo dili na little knowledge siguro, no? Naana tayo expertise level na ba in using my soul? Expertise level na ba nga? Nangyamid, expertise ba good? Novice pa? Novice pa, pero siguro na nasa last nga level sa novice, no? Going to no, kay sa sangkatutak sa kadaghan ng mga training provided by Sir Fredley, Sharo, no, daghan na tag nakatunan about my soul. So my point here in this slide is dili to dapat nato kalimtan. No? Dili to nato kalimtan ang skills that we were able to apply, the content that we develop from your pre-recorded material, the digitized materials, and so on and so forth. We will preserve that and incorporate that in the limited face-to-face that we wanted to deliver in coming August. So there are 3 major modalities of technology integration modalities with face-to-face component at 100% full capacity. Okay? Para dili ta malibog, ayon na ng 100 full capacity. No? Limited face-to-face. Ino na nato ng limited face-to-face, but we're not anymore referring limited face-to-face as a learning environment. But we're talking here now as a teaching strategy. O say different. If ato paghapong i-associate sa limited face-to-face in terms of number of students, that's environment. Okay? But if we will talk about these 3 models as our teaching strategy, whether 100% full capacity, 50%, dili na siya mo matter, because what we are talking now is a teaching strategy in a limited face-to-face. Sir Fredley, if there are questions, please let me know. Okay. Now, there are 3. Then ako ni siyang roughly introduce, and very quickly I will introduce, because for this afternoon, Ma'am Alfie will be discussing to us blended learning. So what is the first modality is called blended learning. Sa iyo naman ang blended learning, sir. Before pandemic na anay blended learning. That is really true. But the landscape of blended learning has changed. Nausog na. Na ay mga models before COVID not anymore applicable or even revised now to be more appropriate in the limited face-to-face. So what is blended learning? Learning happens in face-to-face sessions with both modalities integrated into a cohesive learning experience. Online materials and activities are meant to complement and supplement and build rather than replace. Meaning, na kay technology, imo na siyang i-add sa imuhang face-to-face. That's the blended learning. There are 3 variants. We call this 3 variants of blended learning that you can choose and only discuss ni Ma'am Alfie. The first variant that we will be introducing to you, applicable for Seliman, is called conventional blended learning. The second is enriched blended learning. And third is advanced blended learning. So, pili lang taana, no? Blended learning ba atong ganahan? Kung blended learning, unsa nga variant? Omicron? Or conventional, enriched, or advanced. The second modality that we can consider is the hybrid learning. Usahay nomenclature among good ni siya, no? Usahay maglibog ka and then they can use this interchangeably. But nindot ra nang klaro ato ang terminologies. So what is hybrid learning? This is in contrast to blended learning. In contrast in the sense that the face-to-face is replaced much of the technology component. Whether synchronous or asynchronous learning. That's hybrid learning. Sa mata-mata pa, for example, out of 54 hours nga imuhang klase, no? 54 hours, maybe 20 lang ana ang face-to-face and 34 ana is for synchronous or asynchronous via MySoul or Google Meet or Zoom. While blended learning, if that's 54 face-to-face. Later, we'll show you the different variants. Variants to blended learning, there are also 3. We developed 3. Flip, hybrid learning. We also have with synchronous hybrid learning and rotational hybrid learning. That's for the 3 variants that you can also pick or choose from the hybrid learning modalities. Ang third nga mo'y nakadala og tigaw is the high-flex modality. So what is high-flex? Combines the terms hybrid and flexible. Misikat lang yun ni siya tungod ni COVID. No, yes, that's true. Because kauna, before COVID, the flex is only a sub-domain of blended learning. Now, tungod aning COVID, na-innovate siya, gitawag na dahil siya og high flex. From the 2 modalities, hybrid and flexible. Each class is offered in person, meaning face-to-face. There is a campus inside the classroom, synchronously online, and asynchronously online to provide a flexible experience and multiple modes of preparation. Kaning atong training karon is high flex. You have face-to-face student and I also have Zoom participants. O ano among gi-high flex? Because among na-notice, daghan bang teachers, dili pa ganahan mo lakaw sa ilaha. Di ba? Hi Zoom participants. Nganong naara mo diha? Zoom participants. Sige, mangutana ko. Nganong naara mo diha? Let me go on. Para na ay contain interaction from the Zoom participant. Be? Why you opted the what is this? Share. Walay snacks. Oh, walay snack diha. Nami snacks diri. Ready na among snacks. I think Ma'am Sandra is raising your hand.
Very, very convenient. If
Okay.
we are here at home, we can do something which we cannot do outside, while at the same time attending the training.
Mm. Okay, that's Ma'am Sandra. Uh, Let me stop share para makita mo on screen. Here. Bantay Bata 163 according to si Gishow mo sir gishow mo online para makita. I think you can just go to back view of the account participants there and maybe our audience can also look at there just to say hi. Okay. Sige, Ma'am Jessa is waving, si Ma'am Press, and so on and so forth. Okay. Sige, so again, this is Highflex. So, yun na yung itsura sa Highflex. Ikaw, teacher, actually, you have to make sure that you are engaged to your face-to-face class and you are engaged to your Zoom student. So, sir, pwede ba delete na lang kung mag-Highflex kay Murag? Daghanap ako una-unaon mag-dire sa face-to-face and then dire sa Zoom. No? So, pwede siya na siya kaayo. Again, the selection of the modality is given or is the discretion of the teacher in agreement with the department. Kung ako lang, okay dito sa Highflex. For example, reporting, unya, ang kanang group nga mo report, kamo ari the rest, attendees, listeners, online lang, Zoom. Diba? You can say pliti pa to the students and something like that. But anyway, there are many reasons. There are many ways which will be introduced later. Easy to move from one meeting to the next according to Ma'am. Hi Ma'am Biol, good afternoon. Sakto no? Dali ra gyud. Pero atong hunahunaon na kung mag-Highflex ta, atong i-consider ang next class sa estudyante. Kay basig mo ingon kagkalit og kita mag-class, mag face-to-face ron, sini online, unya tuwa pa di sila nagklase dito, asan man pud sila mag-log in or asa sila mo hands-on. No, things like those. Ipang consider nato na siya, especially in the scheduling. And so on and so forth. Anyway, you will come to realize na in one course, dili lang yun na siya usa ka modality and dili lang na siya usa ka variant. It could be a combination of all. Depending on the type of course or subject you have, your learning outcomes, and the activities that you wanted to do inside your class. Okay? Sige. So, balik ko sa ako ang slides sa definition of the tree. And I will show again my slides here and share. Okay. Nakita balik Sir Fredly ang slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So hybrid, blended, there are three variants: conventional, enriched, and advanced. While for hybrid, we have also three variants: flip, we have with synchronous, and rotational. The third is like what we are doing right now is the so-called Highflex. And there are three variants also for Highflex modality. During lectures, during skills demo or validation, and during assessment. So our workshop on the limited face-to-face or limited face-to-face teaching strategy at 100% full capacity will talk about individually each of these variants. This afternoon, Ma'am Alfie will talk about the three variants. What are the different hardware, software that kinahanglanon if we will choose this kind of modality or of this kind of variant? How to incorporate that into our learning plan. How, and we will emphasize how to use my soul in any of this modality or in this specific variant. Okay, so without further ado, I'll give the screen and the floor to Ma'am Alfie to talk about blended learning.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So for this afternoon, so we will be learning on the different variants on blended learning, and I will also show to you these are actually part of the old types of blended learning, the three that are more or less useful to us if we are to use blended learning. So is my screen already visible? Sorry. How about this? Okay. Sige. So for this afternoon, we have like three objectives. So I will describe blended learning in the context of SU's limited face-to-face with a 100% class capacity. So how will we be able to make use of blended learning with that one? And then the second would be to unravel the different strategies. So as Sir Dave has mentioned, we have to focus on blended learning as a teaching strategy, not anymore the environment. No, so how will we be able to use? So I will be also introduce to you the three variants na inyong pilian, no? And lastly, this will have an output. So everyone will get their certificate if you will be able to send when you apply blended learning in a lesson. So don't you worry, it won't be this afternoon right away. Sir Fredley said you will be given like a week to comply with that lesson with blended learning. Actually, it's a start, no? For me, actually, also it was a start yesterday and maybe Friday in making or placing in my learning plan. I have already integrated some of the lessons with blended learning. Okay, so for the first one, blended learning as a response to the memo. So first is, it is a teaching method or strategy rather than a teaching environment. And then it does not have an online synchronous session. Remember, in blended learning, it's face-to-face that was added with a technology. No, so there is no synchronous session in blended learning. And then, because when you say synchronous sessions, we are still using that online modality. And then it utilizes the technology and face-to-face components at the same time. Though there could be instances or there could be also examples in the variants wherein pwede siyang gamiton karon ang technology but in the classroom walay technology mahitabo. So it could actually, there's also a choice or an option for that one. So let me just start with it is a teaching method rather than a teaching modality or environment. So as a teaching method, we have to look at blended learning as not used all throughout the semester or all throughout the school year. Kaya baso na natin idea ay blended learning pwede na po, because there are some teachers who have already made use of blended learning pre-pandemic, no? And I'm one of them, no? So maybe their idea or their concept of blended learning was still that of pre-pandemic, where they come to school every day or they meet their students every meeting, and then they make use of the learning management system. So that's maybe their idea. So let's highlight that we should not make use of blended learning just for the whole semester or for the whole school year. If by chance pwedeng magsunod na to gamiton ng blended learning in the lessons, but it should be the different types or a different variant from variant 1 maybe to variant 3. So there should be a difference. And then The second one is it does not have an online synchronous session. So in here, lectures or even your discussions and demonstrations are done in the classroom. So how would you be able to do that? No? How would you be able to do that? You could actually make use, combine. Pwede gyapon. We have already our contents. Pwede na siyang, we play our videos, and then when we want to expound on something, we could just pause and then we talk. No? So dili pwede nga puro ra all throughout that 1 hour and a half puro ra imong gipakita ang kuan. You should have also an interaction, and you have to provide activities, no, learning activities. It doesn't have to be lecture all the time, no, activities in order for the students to be engaged, even if that is only the time that they will see each other for maybe for that long period, no. So there should be, we should also emphasize that in blended learning activities, especially formative activities, should also be done face-to-face. Now, if we cannot really avoid the lecturing part, no, so you would see a variant later on na pwede gidi ay nawalay technology. I mean, if we go back to what Sir Dave said earlier nga, there were teachers who were doing live sessions or synchronous sessions without recordings, without lecture recordings. Siguro sila lecture online live, no? So they could actually do that face-to-face, just like the traditional one, but in a different light now, because it will have to be assisted with technology. And the last one is it utilizes the technology and face-to-face components at the same time, more or less at the same time. Or maybe for another variant, like the flipped classroom that Sir Dave was actually mentioning earlier, the highlight for the first part is actually technology, because they have to comply or read the contents online, and then later on you could also make use of face-to-face sessions for activities with technology gihapon. So there you go. And then even in face-to-face sessions, technology is still present beyond the showing of PowerPoint. So everyone is very familiar with this one, no? Mag-PowerPoint ta. So muna na siya technology part in our face-to-face discussion. So no, so later on I will also show you what other activities you can actually do face-to-face without even having to go through lecture, no? Makasabot lagi hapon ang mga bata with activities for formative activities. And then it should be used in the teaching learning activities. Okay. So these are actually 3 models of the blended learning. This was already way before the pandemic. These are already part of the lessons, the models of blended learning. So we have station rotation, lab rotation, and of course you always know a flipped classroom. Some of us have already practiced successfully flipped classroom using ODL. So how would we be able to do it also with blended learning? All right, so we first have station rotation. I know many, maybe many of those teaching in basic education are already familiar with station rotation, not actually attached to blended learning, no? So, but how does station rotation work with blended learning? So in here, if you look at the picture, the image here, no? So we have like stations, no? Physical stations in the classroom, no? That we can actually make use of. So in here, there is a teacher-led instruction. So when your students come to class, there is just like little instruction, no? Face-to-face. So you tell them on what to do. And then you could have collaborative stations, no? So meaning you could also have like physical stations within the class, like for example, for example in math, no? So in math, you could actually make use of like your blended learning activity is actually formative activity on solving a problem. So what do? You have 4 problems, so you place it in different stations within the classroom. And what do? So grupo sila. So you could actually let them stay. This group you will assign them in different stations. They will stay there for 10 minutes to solve the problem. Okay. So there was like a short interruption. Okay, so let's continue. So again, so that's station rotation. So I also made use of this one, like for example, in different subtopics, because we have the tendency, like for example, different types of blended learning. No, I teach also blended learning in teaching and learning in education. So what I do is I don't discuss it one by one. I make use of a station rotation. So I have materials there, no materials, videos, so on and so forth. I also have a piece of maybe 3 questions for them to answer each station, so that there's something that they could really get from what they are from their stay in that particular station. So you could actually make use of that one. And then in here, you could actually make use of the online portion, no, the online portion as repository for your content, no? So naara gihapon sa inyong VC. And then if you want them to really pass, no, pass the output over your VC, pwede gihapon. Or you could actually have them hand in their paper para ma-feel po nila gamay nga, yes, I am in the classroom already because I'm handing over or submitting over a paper. And then the second one is okay, so lab rotation. So for lab rotation, maybe this is already for those who are teaching lab courses or subjects, this is actually already very familiar to you. No, maybe without the technology part, but this is actually that. No, it's more of the environment in here. It's the environment, but this is I'm introducing this one because there is some practicality to this one. Sometimes there are a limited number of classrooms, especially for maybe proctored exam, proctored online exam, no? So dili naman ta mo print, so we will have proctored online exam. So what do? We could actually do blended learning through lab rotation, which means for today, we will be here because we will be doing our formative activity. We will be doing our discussion in the normal classroom. Now, for next meeting, we will have a proctored exam. So what do? We don't have any internet connection here in the class. So there are 2 choices, no? You could actually allot in your department 1 room na kusog jud ang internet, and the students will just bring your own device, no? Bring their own laptops for an online proctored exam. Now, I will share to you my experience with this one. pre-pandemic, no, I don't know if Sir Manaay from the ND have could still remember this one. He wants to have his online exam during the time also of my class in a particular laboratory in CCS. So what we did, it's because I don't have any activity like hands-on activity for the session. So what we do is we exchanged rooms, no? So I will stay in that ND in the ND room, sir, so that we could still continue with our activity there. He actually brought his class to the CCS room or the laboratory because he also had to use it for that one. So this is actually something that's practical, no? So again, kanang naapoy mga natay mga ko nga, yes, that's actually a good thing to do. I know also, I mean, most of our or all of our participants, live participants here are from junior high school, no? So we cannot actually accommodate, no? We cannot accommodate everyone sa computer room, no? So we could actually have this kind of setup if for blended learning. Then last that I will introduce is the one that's very familiar, and that's the flipped, no? So the flipped classroom is very familiar to us, even in ODL, no? So you have to read first or do the introductory activities first before you come and meet the class, no? So it's like that. It's more of really giving time, no? Giving time for the technology part as well as for the face-to-face part. So in here, no, students can actually have also have the time to also kanang budget their time in such a way that this is for this session is actually for our online component. So I will only make use of my data also for this one. So the rest of the time, no, I am looking forward to seeing my classmates for my activity in face-to-face. All right. So these are just three of the ones that I could say are very useful for us if we go back to face-to-face. Now, we are introducing to you the three variants. Sir Dave has actually mentioned the three variants, no? So what are the three variants? So dili ni siya COVID variant, but blended learning variants. So we have here the conventional variant. So what do you mean by conventional variant? So in here, the face-to-face components are the lecture and knowledge deepening, no? So naa na siya lecture and knowledge deepening, and then also in face-to-face are activities and performance tasks. Even if they're formative or they have to practice, they have to do it in class. And then assessment, no? So if it's paper-based, you could actually do that, no? So kinahanglan nga sa papel man or kinahanglan nga they have to perform, no? The assessment is performance task. Pwede gihapon siya. So it could be done face-to-face. Now, what is the technology component in here in variant conventional? The technology component is everything is still in all of your resources, all of your contents, they are still in my soul, no? So students still have to access the content in my soul, no? As well as you as a teacher, even if your activities or your assessment is paper-based, you could actually allot or place an assignment there and record you could actually place the scores of your students there. Pwede gihapon na siya, no? Bisag wala sila ni-submit dito, i-submit sila sa papel. Okay, and then use of personalized learning PLD so naapanin, no? So we should make use of the restrict access. Say na kayo ang restrict access, no? So they cannot go or they could not perform that particular activity because the instructions can only be seen there, no? If they won't submit, no? If they won't submit to the to your activity here. So pwede po na siya. And then use of class record. No, so many of us have already made use of Soul as the class record. I hope so. I hope so. I think we have our own grading sheet, especially in basic education. But we could actually by now, no, we have already mastered how to actually arrange them and organize them using the grade book, no? So honestly, for me, I have never used the Excel anymore since 2020, no? I've already made use of the grade book, okay? And then in here, technology requirement inside the classroom, none. No? So in here, if you look at it, is this the traditional way? No? So this is actually the old way of blended learning pre-pandemic. No? If you have been already using blended learning pre-pandemic, this is it. No? So what you do is you do the performance task and even the lectures, no, or the deepening within the class, and then just make use of a learning management system as repository of contents and submissions. So there, so that's the first variant. So later on, I will show you the actual classroom, my actual classroom for the first variant, just so you have an idea. And then the second variant is the enriched blended learning. So in here, a technology requirement inside the classroom, no, there should be like a computer at least, no, for the teacher's part, naanay technology for the teacher's part. And of course, you could have like make use of the technology of the students as well in order for it to work. And then in here, so face-to-face, same, no? Use of pre-recorded. This time, dili na din siya the same. Kato siya, kung ano ito, manual or you have to say or you have to do the lecture in a classroom. In here, not anymore. You are assisted with technology. That was what I mentioned earlier, no? You already have your content. Sayang na kung inyo po itong ipang-delete. Dili na yung ipakita, no? You have like had many sleepless nights trying to make this work, trying to make this video. Nya pagahuman ipang-delete ra, no. We will be able to use that one even in enriched, blended learning. So what do we do, no? So later on also ako po na siyang i-demonstrate nga imong iabrihan ang imuhang video, no? And then some points, because some points that you would want to also enhance or maybe also want to update, no, na ay mga points dito nga you want to update, then you could also interact with your students on it. Or pwede ra po imo siyang i-stop and then you will have like a discussion, an interactive discussion with your students. And then again, activities and skills and performance tasks, and of course, demonstration validation, same as the conventional one. And assessment is still paper-based in here, no? Assessment is still paper-based. Ma'am, pwede ba nga na ay activity online? Pwede kaayo, no? Because in here, sa MySol nga component, no? So we have activity submission. So again, there are, like for example, we are used to pre-pandemic, we are used to giving our students assignments, right? So we could actually still continue with that one, yet we have to let them also submit it online. So not anymore na get your assignments and pass the paper to me, not anymore like that. So what you do is you let them actually submit in your in their VC. And again, there's a use of personalized learning and then use of class records. So I will also show you later on how an assessment could be done using this one. So it doesn't have to be the online exam. So I'm not also using the online exam for this one. And the last one, no, ang advanced blended learning, no? So what do we mean by advanced blended learning? So same as enriched, you have to use your pre-recorded videos and do some activities that would enhance or would motivate student interaction, student-teacher interaction. And then also in here, no, again, there are so many videos already of teachers doing the demonstrations with katong sa videos, no? So dili po nato na siya i-waste. We could actually make use of the time in class for them to be able to perfect on demonstrating if we are to ask for the skills, no? So the skills of our students. So we could actually make use of that one as well. And then in the MySol component, what is new here, no? What is new here is formative assignments, pwede na siya. So, pwede na tang paperless dire, no? So, for variant 3 or the advanced blended learning, we could actually go paperless, which means, no? Which means that written work, they could still be uploaded or submitted in MySol. As teachers, again, you have to place also even performance tasks. You will also place like an assignment portion there in order for you to be able to place the scores of your students with rubrics. No? Pwede gihapon siya. Well, they are performing, no? You could actually make use of your laptop or maybe your tablet, and then you could just input the scores of the students in MySol using the rubrics that you have placed in MySol. And what's good about this one is you could do, so diri na mahitabo ang proctored online exam. No? So I know many of us benefited from proctored online exam. Why? Because we could actually make use of the time checking, especially for objective type, no? Objective type raman, ma'am. Di na mas ma'am. Objective type, no? Objective type of exam. There's instant feedback after they take the exam because they will get their scores right away. Now in here, no, the online exam is strengthened. Why? You are there to proctor them already. No, so if you will make use of that one, naa ka nga mo proctor. Yeah. No, so your apprehensions before dili ko mag-online exam mo ani, it will actually be mawala na siya because you are there to do the proctoring of the exam. Okay, so here assessment proctored online exams, of course using MySol. And then, as I mentioned earlier, BYOD, bring your own device to students. Maybe you'd want to also discuss this with your students the first time they come to you, or maybe you'd also place like a portion in the VC that there are times that we need to have, or I will require you to bring your devices in class because you will be able to use that one for our activity. And of course, computers with speakers and internet connectivity. So this time, no, at least for the teacher, there should be this, no. I think most or all of the classrooms, if I'm not mistaken, wala gihapoy kuan ma'am. So not really computer. We have our own laptops, but there should be like a projector, projector. Okay, so magsabot-sabot ani sa atong department on how to go about with this one, no? So it should be that because for sure there will be lessons that would need blended learning. We know that hybrid learning or high flex learning could offer us more when it comes to flexibility, but there is really a need for us to go blended, no? When and the topic, no, could be more could be learned more, or actually skills could be learned more because of blended learning, no, for our face-to-face. All right, so okay, dili sa kumuhatag sa activity. I will show you, okay, demonstration. So this is like to demonstrate on how we cannot stop. Okay. So, okay, so kindly give me a thumbs up if the classroom or the virtual classroom is shared. Okay, so may thumbs up na ang mga tao din here. So, okay. So, of course, they see it here, no? Anyway, I also have someone to monitor if people could see it in their own screens. All right, so I have placed in here, no? Conventional blended learning, and then I have here enriched and advanced, no? So these are actual lessons of mine, no? So nga pwede na to siyang mabutangan ani or pwede na tong magamitan. Okay. So we click on conventional blended learning. Okay. So in here, okay. So based on katong variant descriptions, no? So for the conventional, no? So my schedule is this one. So I have actually placed something like a greeting and for them to also look forward to, no? Nga magkita mi sa Lunes, no? So face to face. So for Monday, no? Lecture and knowledge depending on ICT competency standards. So kana siya. So we will have the lecture here. And then in order for me to be able to know if they have already grasped on some of the important performance indicators of ICT when it comes to the competency standards, I would want them also to pick out on their own. So my activity is most and least performance indicator that they prioritize in their field of specialization. I'm talking about students, education students. No? So what will they think are the best indicators for them to be able to kanang use, no? When it comes to that one, that's paper-based. Pwede rin na siya 1/4 sheet of paper, no? Or pwede ra pud siya og 1 whole sheet of paper, pwede ra pud. And then, because it's paper-based, I have actually, okay. So I have actually, so this is actually the content for my videos. Dili sa kung mubutang sir. Di pa na ko siya i-open kay conventional man ni, no? Conventional. So even if it's conventional, all of them are still available in my VC, no? And then here is the activity. So the activity is paper-based, but in order for me to be able to use the grade book, diha ra pud ko magbutang. So what I do is I will just click on this one, and then I will just grade them. While magrado ko sa papel, I could just also view all submissions here and place the grade there. And then para because sir, yes, we could actually make the feedback. Sometimes if feedback is just said, istorya ra nimo dili ma-register. So permanent man siya, or at least they will see it when they are also doing other things for that particular topic. So they could make use of that one. The students will be able to see it also. So maybe before they go or before they proceed with the next topic, they will be able to see your feedback on what to do in order for them to be able to do it better. So there. And then, ako na siyang gibutangan og I also placed na the schedule even in my ebook. These are all mga videos. So what kabalo na sila nga they will just view those videos, that video or those content for that particular day. Dili nila hatiroson kay kana raman for that particular day. So naapod siya din ha. So they would also see it, no? So they will be guided nga by next meeting mananami sa ICT competency standards na anami sa sunod. So there. Okay. And then all of my activities supposedly for the conventional type are paper-based. If you look at my semi learning plan, no, you will see a complete one later on. Pero dili pa complete for a lesson only. Kaya wala ko kaapas. Bitaw. Anyway, so naana na siya din ha, no? So better this way para organized po. The students should also know. Okay, so mom will be giving me my grades in my soul, but I am submitting it. But I am submitting the paper. Okay. So there. Okay, and then same with the activities, the second activity. So it's also like a reflection activity. So they will have to write it in paper. And then the last one is actually a research activity. In here, no, dili sila mag-research sa classroom. So this actually is done online. So they will be able to submit this one online. So nagamit gihapon ang ilahang technology component in submission. And lastly is the summative assessment. No? So if you look at it, my summative assessment is not the online proctored exam. No? So it is something that they have to answer essay. No? So essay type. If you are fan of the essay type of exam or maybe problem solving, pwede siya. No? So you could actually have it there. Paper, naanay ebidensya, paper na gyud, no? So you will receive the paper, they will get their grades online, even in the summative activity. So there. So that is for conventional. So conventional really is, it's more face-to-face. All you have to do is you have like an assistant in technology, no? So kana siya. Then we go to enriched, no? So the enriched portion, the enriched blended learning. Okay. In here, no? So ang enriched portion, naanay teacher component. So again, sige mo demonstrate jud ko, no? So mo demonstrate ta ani. These are not sige imuhaning ko answer, no? So these are actually from my actual nakita lang ba? Okay. So in here, so you will show them the portions of the video. Oh, okay, si Sir Dave, actually it's flexible learning, no? So part of it, so you have already like shown them like 5 minutes of the video. You are into the 5 minutes of the video, but you would want to add something, no? So you want to add something. So all you have to do is click on pause. I-pause lang, no? I-pause na to, do the activity. If na kay activity, if there's really like an activity, kung pwede po ka recitation, pwede na siya. So there is really that activity within, or you could actually make use of another type of activity. So or more lively or more kind of interactive activity with your students. So kana siya. So you could do that. So pwede na, you cannot, you could actually save your voice na in here. Like for example, you don't have to be maybe mga 30 minutes na lang, because the 30 minutes you have actually made use of your content, your video. Dayon, mamalik ta sa I cannot go back na to Seoul. Okay. So there. And then in here, if you look at my classroom in here, I already have, still with the same components, the paper-based submissions, I have already also placed their kanang counterpart for me to grade. So naagihapon na siya. So station, rotation, and paper-based. No? So in here, I've made use of, because I will be teaching the different models of blended learning. So it's station, rotation. What I do, instead of a lot of talking, I will just show that portion of flexible learning, maybe the foundations of blended learning in the video, no? But the real activity, learning activity, is a station rotation. Station rotation, the one I've shown you earlier, no? So I will place different the different types in there. So naaman could be you could actually make use of the devices. Maybe the devices of the students will do, no? Like this, for this group, we will use the, or for this station we will make use of the laptop of this and that. So pwede siya, ana. And then I will just give them 20 minutes each, and then they have to have these, or they would have to place this in paper. So blended model, indicate what type, and then describe in your own words. Dili na katong naa sa video, no? So, and then provide an example of that one in your field of specialization. So because I'm talking of education students, so dapat ilang ma-relate ang blended learning model to their field of specialization. How will they be able to use it? So there. So that's something that is done in the classroom. They will write their answers there, no? And they will submit it to me. They will get their grades in Seoul. And then in here, okay, so Sir Dave was actually talking about SumR earlier. So this is actually something that I also teach the students, no? So in here, no, this will be collaborative work for them, but they will still make use of the paper, no? So how is note taking done in SumR, so substitution instead of so on and so forth. Dili na ako mag-discuss ana dire, no? So so there, kani siya open forum, no? So open forum, they could actually have their own discussions here. Ang mga estudyante, no? They could have their own discussions here, while not in the classroom. And then I will also give their grades here, no? Okay, this is actually a collaborative work. So pwede. So I made use of another one, dili lang assignment, no? Pwede ay lain, no? So they could still do collaborative work even outside of the classroom. Okay. And then summative assessment. Okay. So for my summative assessment, again, it's not online proctored exam. They have to make a learning plan for a lesson, which is actually everyone has to do in order for you to be able to have your certificate later. But this is a different one. No, yours will be for blended learning. No, yours will be for blended learning. So in here, they have to like write, or they will have to write. Now, as the teacher, dili na ko magsulat ani sa whiteboard. All I have to do is project the activity there because it is done face to face. As well with the other activities, no? As well with the other activities, there's no need for me to actually write it on the board because I could actually show it to them. So, hopefully, no, magamit gihapon na to ang enriched blended learning. The last one is the advanced. So, kani siya, no? Advanced blended learning, which for me, there's no such thing as, this is actually very easy for you to use because you're already used to online distance learning, no? So in here, no, my lesson is gamifying the virtual classroom, no? So this is my lesson for them. So in variant 3 or the advanced blended learning, we make use of pre-recorded videos during the lectures and even the demonstrations. We make use of our demonstrations. Kay balibe na tong ginama ato, no? And then I will do the activity with them within the class. It's a laboratory class, so it's more like in here the lab rotation is used, but ours would be not necessarily online proctored exam, but it's more of making use of their gadget or their internet connectivity because I will be giving them or letting them experience a gamified lesson, no? The whole person education gamified lesson. So we will still be doing it in the classroom with the use of technology. And then for the MySol counterpart, no, unsay gigamit dito. So again, what we used is first is the gamified experience is actually something that they could access through Sol. So I would have to enroll them in another online VC where they could actually make use of that gamified experience. And then in here, we have already the summative, by the way, for our performance task is for them to be able to make one gamified content, no? So yes, the students will have to make that one. They will have to place or give me the URL na lang, dere na, no? Gamified pa siya, so it's already they're making use of technology in making it. They will have to also place it here. And lastly, na ni siya. So my summative exam or assessment is in the form of an online exam. So in here, it's already a proctored online exam. So how would you see it here? So kanisha, no? So the first session, no? So these are the session, the first session. So this is the activity. So they will just click on it. So it's online still, no? And then they will have to answer the questions here. After they experience the online activity or the gamified activity, they will have to go back to Sol and answer the questions here. So that is our activity for that particular subtopic. And then for the next two topics, all of the demonstrations are there. I could also enhance the demonstration with the use of my videos. So I could actually explain it more face-to-face. Kabalo ko ma-feel na to na everyone feels that one, mas ma-express na to if there's face-to-face, the face-to-face element. In here, they will make their activity in the class, in the laboratory, and then they will have to give me the URL through Sol. Lastly, we will be having a proctored online exam for one meeting. So that is how you use it. So in here, we are actually paperless, no? If the two types of variants of blended learning have paper-based assessments, no, or activities, in here you could actually make use of the ones that you have done while doing ODL, but it's more enhanced because you are there physically to guide them when doing the activity. So I hope this will be something that everyone will be able to use. Okay, now going back to, I will stop sharing. Okay, so I hope, okay, so it's already visible. Okay, so we will have like a minor. So everyone, I know you are, for those here present, you could actually open you could just open Google Chrome in there. The computers are turned on. Okay, so I would want everyone to access menti.com. No, so for those who are present virtually, Sir Fredly will place in the chat box so that you can participate. Okay, so among the blended learning models and variants, which are the top two that you would likely use in your class? No, dili nga consistently used, but likely used in one of your lessons, access the link and click on the top two, no? So you could just click on the top two. All right, so that we will have to see which ones, no? Okay. Items up. Okay, sige. You just I will share it again so that the live participants can access it first before I will show you the okay, I hope maka-access na. Okay. Okay. And then in a few minutes, I will also share to you your answers kung sa inyong mga ganahan, no? So this is something that you could actually make use of also as part of your advanced, no? Advanced, or even in your enriched modality, you could actually make use of this one, Mentimeter, no? So just to give like, to have an idea of everyone's answer. Okay. Oh, break for the snacks. Okay. Sige, break for the snacks di ay. So, while you are at it, so inyo yung hunaon unsa gyud ang no? Last or inyong top two. So, I will also show mga 5 minutes lang, sir. Okay, 5-minute break. For those at home, snacks gihapon, no? Or maybe health break, yeah. And for those here, we have our snacks outside. So you could just get your snacks outside. So going back, so is everyone already with us? Kumana ang health break? Okay. So this time, no, let's have some sharing when let's share on our top two and why it is something that we prioritize in blended learning. So like for me, I would have advanced blended learning because when it comes to the activities of the nature of the course that I'm teaching, it's more of educational technology. So I don't use much of the paper-based activities. So I make use of the advanced blended learning. And of course, because with it in face-to-face, you are provided with the computer, the PCs, no, for the students. So it's easy for me to have it in advanced blended learning. For the type of model, I have to make use of the flipped classroom, no. So those are my, even if flipped classroom, because that works actually. I have done it in different modalities. I have done it in blended learning pre-pandemic. I have done that in ODL, and I believe I could still do it with limited face-to-face. So those are my two top two when it comes to the blended learning models. So I will be calling one of you here. Okay. So just kanang share to us, no, why ang inyong top two, share to us your top two and why it is applicable, especially on the course or the subject that you're teaching. Volunteers, before ko manawag. Now, di ko anda yun yung ana dayon sila nangatubang dayon sa screen. Oo. Sige, kuan naman, storya lang, no? So that people could also we will also call people virtually. Those who are present virtually, we will be calling group after. Kinsa man? Ma'am? Or anyone, sige na, kuan lang, just your top two, dili man, wala may kuan, wala may wrong answer diri, no? So, top two blended learning choices. Ang unsa man yung gi-answer, dili mo mangita na adiro, no? Ilan namang gilantaw ang ilang gi-answer dinhi. Ako kay dili ganing siya top two, no? My first choice is actually advanced blended learning. And the second one is flipped classroom, no? So ikaw, ma'am, Yes, ma'am, Riam Bonanza.
It's because
Unsa man imong top 1, ma'am?
the conventional blended.
Okay, so conventional blended learning. Unsa may imong gi-teach, ma'am? Yes, she's teaching values
And I
1.
don't motivate them. I have difficulty in managing.
But at least you have already gone through ODL for the last 3 years. Yes. Yeah.
I
Okay.
always have a partner
Okay.
because I do not have a problem in preparing my lesson. I have a problem. All the problem in presenting my lesson through.
Okay.
So I just prepare my lesson, send it to my partner, and my partner be the one to.
So good for ma'am because murag na kay team teacher. You're
Yes.
team teaching. So
Because-
this actually works also. Team
Yes.
teaching actually works for this one. Mas effective siya sa mga katong kinahanglan og daghang presence of a teacher, no? A teacher in wherever modality, no? This will also work well. Katong mga naay daghang team teaching, go na mo sa mga advanced blended learning. Dito.
Because it only I'll be given the option
Yes.
to go back to the.
Traditional. Hindi naman siya tama. Yes.
Yun. So
Uh-huh.
I have to force myself and people are forcing me and so the condition, okay, give me a partner.
Okay.
Because kung wala, then look for a teacher to take my class.
Okay, so for mom, it still no with the use of technology, she could make use of. Ano ba yung second mom? First naman ko.
I think I just give. Ika naman na akong trabaho, kung saan na siya nag-ikot.
Okay, ang second mo ma'am, ang saan yung second? Flipped. Okay, so at least si ma'am sa second is flipped, no? So more of she has already prepared her virtual classroom. Okay, ikaw naman i-import na to ma'am, no? So she could actually make use of flip, meaning the activities, especially with the nature of values ed ma'am. So mas maayo pud nga face to face good, no? So thank you ma'am. No, thank you ma'am. So another one from our live participants. Yes, ma'am.
The same,
Same?
especially with the nature of my subject.
English. English, okay.
So I'm not very good in,
Okay.
technology. So I have partners who are much younger than.
Yeah, so
At
at
least.
least, yeah, okay. So it's still conventional blended learning. And the second one, ma'am, is? Okay, the flip. So at least no, flip na ilahang mga kuan karon, ilahang mga choices, no? Okay, thank you. This time we will choose from the participants online. Okay? Sige. Or you could actually just raise your hand if you'd want to share your top 2 and why it is your top 2. Anyone? Before I call, before I call. Or before I show you my ruleta, binoang lang. Anyone? Sige, ipakita ang atong mga beauty o atong kagwapuhan so that people will be able to see you. Wala. Nang close og camera ay manawag na lang ko. Okay. Sige. So, let me call Sir Donald Antone. Are you there?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Sir, good afternoon. So we would just want you to share or give us an idea of your top 2 and why it is your top 2.
I got the first one, the enriched variant, right? Enriched,
Yes,
because
enriched variant.
I actually did have a lot of mix of, like, I recorded my lectures and then, at times I also did it live. And then the students, in terms of their activities, they also had to demonstrate their learning of specific aspects, because I teach communication.
Okay.
And then for flip also, that's my second flip, because I made use of readings, and then also videos that they have to watch by themselves, at their own time, rather than wasting all our time watching, like for the whole
Yeah.
1 hour and 30 minutes. So, I assign them videos, especially teaching media ethics. So there are some really wonderful videos that they need to watch at their own time. And then when they came back, uh, then we would talk about specific points. That's
Yeah. Based on my experience also, sir, for Flipped, it really actually motivates, or it gives more interaction, because they have already have an idea
right.
of the content, and then there's the discussion, live discussions, no, are also better, especially if it was with Flipped. Thank you,
Correct.
sir, Antone.
Yes,
Okay,
you're
so
welcome.
another one from Sir is from communication. So let's have someone from the sciences. So how about, ito ko'y daghan kung kaila diri. How about, ayun na to si Sir, kay na naman, represented naman si mo. Okay, so we actually have one from the chat. Okay, sige. Si Ma'am Bukingkito from the elementary, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry, I cannot turn on my camera because of my internet connection.
Okay,
Kasi
ma'am.
reconnecting. Actually, I prepared all the activities and lectures would be done in face-to-face good. Kay ang akong is grade 1. So
Okay.
it's hard for them to have an online class. Okay, especially for their kanang mga behavior. So you have to call their attention good.
So what did you
more
choose,
on
ma'am? Is it conventional? Is it enriched? Or is it
conventional lab rotation.
okay?
Ang
So
sa
for you, it's conventional and lab rotation, because given also that you are a grade 1 teacher, no, kinahanglan jud og kuan guidance, no, and even
Yes.
in that age, you really have to be the source of information most of the time. So it's really that.
Yes,
No, so
that's
that's
correct.
understandable, ma'am. No. And then activities, lab rotation, at least they will be mura na sila natagaan na nimo og structure and maybe some discipline on how to go about with lab rotation, and maybe also some station rotation within the class.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. So we also have here from Ma'am Maria Fesadang. I choose the conventional one because I'm not that well versed about the other type, and I will be teaching at the social work department. So actually, no, murag excited na gyud nga mo balik sa face to face. I could sense that one, no. But at least, no, there's still that that you are still thinking that technology is still a part of it. There's no really going back to traditional face-to-face, and you are already conditioned that it has to be partnered with technology. So thank you for that, those sharing. Okay, so the next one, mauna ni siya, no? So the next one will be dili pa di ay, no? So I will be sharing first my Okay. So before I will give you the your final output, no, or the instructions for your final output, let me also share to you how it should be done, applying blended learning in the learning plan. Okay. So with this change of going limited face-to-face is another, sorry, dili mao. How about this one, Tina? All right. So before I give you the instructions for the output of this activity, no, so let me share to you how I have incorporated, no. So for this one, no, I have, okay, wala na ko kaapas, no, but I have made use of conventional, no, so conventional for my first man siya, first meeting, no, first lecture, so conventional blended learning, no. So in here, so I know this looks familiar to you because this is our format, no. This used to be our format for our syllabus, no, for when we shifted to ODL with the portion limited face-to-face modality, flexible learning modality, and ibutang diha. So in here, na ay face-to-face component and of course technology through MySol component, no. So in here, what I have actually showed you for katuganing within the lesson, no, within the lesson, I have incorporated it here. And of course, performance output assessments are na lahi rapod ang iyahang. There are already activities nga lahi na siya when it comes to instruction, no. So in here, what I did is for face-to-face, for conventional ni, no. So again, lecture and knowledge deepening on the lesson, and then paper-based activity, katong most and least prioritized indicator. Okay, so this is how it looks like, no. This is how it looks like for your syllabus, no, for your syllabus. So unsay mausog din hi. So what will change here are your performance outputs because mausog pud siya with the modality, no. So lahi na pud siya. And then how where siya nimo i-conduct. So in here, lectures are all in face-to-face, okay? And then assessments, this is conventional. Assessments are paper-based, but they are placed, the scores are placed in MySol. And of course, that portion there, I think this works, ma'am, no? For those of you who chose conventional, no? Still you will use the grading portion in grading them, no, and giving them feedback para mas tatak ang feedback because it's already in MySol. So you could have this one, or you could place a different set of modality here for face-to-face, no, for face-to-face or for MySol. This is only for blended learning, no. And by the way, let me emphasize, because many of us have chosen conventional, no, we must also bear in mind that we cannot use conventional all throughout, no. So naagyapoy variation. So we come from let's just say convenient sa conventional, but we have to use the different variants, and of course some of combine the different katong models nga tulo within the variants that we choose. Okay? Yes, especially it should answer the need of the topic. No, it should answer the need of the topic. And of course, yes, the need of the students. And in here, kuan pa man ni, blended learning pa man ni. So wala pa ta. This is just the first step. So by tomorrow and maybe by next week, naa pa mo'y daghan kay mahibaw-an. So you could actually add more in these columns. No, so I will just I think is Ma'am Beulah still around? I will have to collaborate with OI on the template for this one because ma-change na po ang template for our syllabus. All right, so that will be we're almost done. Dito, we're almost done. For your final output, you could actually submit it okay. So you could submit this one in your training course for teachers in my soul, no? So gamit good, no? So we are walking the talk, no? So we would want you to make just for a lesson, sort of a lesson, no? Where you feel that blended learning could be integrated in it, no? So one lesson. And then you will have to place, no, if you'd want to have like the slides or katong iyahang format, we will actually share this in my soul training course, no? So we would want to see how you would be able to integrate in a lesson blended learning, and then we will be giving you a chance. Okay, so we will be letting you, we will give you until Friday to submit that one. So it doesn't have to be very long. The learning plan shouldn't be so detailed, just so we would be able to see how you incorporate in a lesson one of the variants, or maybe incorporate also in the variant one of the models of blended learning. Okay, so I hope everyone would really kaning submit naman, because we will only be we're also walking the talk, no? We're doing PLD, no? We cannot release your certificate if walay submission, no? So gamit gyud gihapon atong soul. Okay, so hopefully everyone will be able to do that, so that we could have, this is just the first, so we could have other activities also. So expect these kinds of activities. Okay, so before we go, maybe you would want to have, maybe you have some questions. Wala na daw sila questions. Ito. Any question?
Can we find all those inputs given us in our training website?
Okay, so ma'am here is asking if they could find the content in here. So we will be arranging it with Sir Fredley, that all materials, the templates also that you would, and then something to scroll over while you're making your learning plan for blended learning. So yes, we will be placing the slides and of course the templates also for you in my soul training course. Okay, so other questions? Wala na? I think wala na sila questions. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. So I will turn you over to our training specialist, Sir Fredley Bucco. Sir Fredley, take it away.
Thank you, Ma'am Alfie, for that informative information about resources, activities, and participation in a blended modality. So for now, I will give you the short walkthrough regarding the evaluation for today's session. So I would like to share my screen. Okay, can you see now the screen? Okay, thank you. So this particular virtual course is found in the 2021 tab, and this is My Soul Training Course for Teachers. So basically, you will click that one, and then it will redirect you to the retooling on limited face-to-face instruction. So here, all you need to do is just simply click this particular label, and then it will redirect you with the retooling unlimited face-to-face details. So once you click it, it will redirect to another tab. And this will be the details for the registration for the upcoming trainings. And if you go back to your MySol training course, you will see here the training mode. This is in-person, face-to-face training. So this is in Mariano Lao, ICI in junior high school. And then for our virtual training, so this is via Zoom. And if you have questions or clarifications or sharing about the session, then you can post your questions or clarifications here in the forum section. And then right after, we will post you the Zoom recordings for the session, which you will see that one in this particular book format. And then here, to get your certificate of participation in person or virtual, so you need to answer this activity and then to submit it. So basically, this is in file. The submission is in file. It could be PDF or PowerPoint. And then here, this is the due date is July 15, 2022. That's 5 p.m. So within this week. And then here, all you need to do is just answer the post-webinar survey. This is until 6 p.m. this day. And then if you're done with the activity, then you will get your certificate of participation in face-to-face training. And if you are in virtual training based from your participation here in the Zoom and in face-to-face training, then you will get those certificate. So all the recordings will be made available here in this particular section, the retooling unlimited face-to-face instruction in the Zoom recordings. So now I will share to you the slides for the remaining announcement. So let's see the next retooling on resources, activities, and classroom management in hybrid modality. So thank you very much for attending this particular session. Thank you, everyone.